How do you find the things that are truly like the experiences that you want to have? Probably at the beginning as well, you had the classy bucket list or something, like whatever, like whatever one else around you wants. And like, how did you craft which experiences are truly that you want in your life?
I mean, it evolves over time, especially with age. A lot of the experiences you want are really a direct result of culture, right? Like,
yeah,
I want to get
totally.
married when I'm 22. Well, if you lived in like, this society that's highly about marriage, then that's your dream, right? And I want to eat these foods and I want to go here and this represents success to me, right? And so you're really not living your dream, you're living the dreams of others, right?
Yeah.
And so as you get older and you become more independent and you get your culture and you get out in the world, you start discovering things are done differently. Things are more interesting to me. This is, wow, I wish I really took a gap year instead of going straight to college and grinding it out, right? Like, and so I would say that the way to discover what you want is random interactions.
What does that mean for you?
I mean, it's like going out and exploring, right? You have to explore and discover what you want. It's like, Steve Jobs used to say, like, surveys are useless. He used to say, like, these consumer surveys are useless. People don't know what they want. You need to tell them what they want, right? Nobody needed a damn iPhone, right? Until they discovered here's an iPhone, right? Like,
exactly.
One of the most populous things, right? And so most of the things that I want, if you look on my list, are things that, holy shit, I didn't know that existed, right? So I'm scattering around the internet and I see a big giant sunfish and we're like, shit, I want to swim with the sunfish.
Yeah.
I want to swim with the whale sharks, right? That's one of the things I want to do. I was like, I want to hike Machu Picchu, and I learned about this train ride that goes through all the thing, whatever. I was like, I want to do that, right? Like, or there's some sort of ceremony, or I want to watch, something, I never Burning Man or whatever the event is, or I want to connect with my aunt. I didn't realize she was so funny, or whatever. So I want to spend more time with my aunt. The list is infinite, right? It's just, you have to get about the world and touch it, see it, feel it, and have information passed back to you. And then you run through your filter, right? And as long as you're not on autopilot, your filter will be correct.
Because I've been living like this forever in a way, but at the beginning as well, it was like, okay, this sounds cool. The traveling, the nomad lifestyle, then blogging, then this, then that. And then at some point you realize, I'm like, wait, like, this is kind of like what I thought it would be great, but it actually doesn't fulfill me that much. It's like nice experiences. It's like amazing memories. And at one point I stopped. I was like, okay, I'll stop traveling to really understand. Because for me, travels was like everything.
Right.
To understand what I really want. And then I went more specific. I went more into yoga, into meditation. And then I would get like, oh, I want to go there if they have the yoga studio that I want, or something like that. And that gave me another experience as well. Because that was more crafting my type of, what experience I want.
Right. But that was valuable because you discovered what you don't want.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you're ever there. But when you like really deeply think about it, like you start to, everybody's different, right? Different things are going to turn other people on and other people off. You have to like kind of throw off, culture's not completely bad, right? Some of the things that I've been cultured to like chocolate ice cream and pancakes, right? I don't eat fried crickets and whatever on a stick because I didn't, but like that's a delicacy in other places, right?
Yeah.
Like you go, I was in China and it was just like, what? And I'm like, yeah, this stuff is good, crunchy and it's got salty flavor.
Yeah.
And, those things I know, it's like, oh, I was raised doing that and it's okay, right? But really you want to like kind of get back to your wilder self and be like, what is important to me? What experiences I have. Do I value being in one place on a farm and catching seasons every year and planting crops and having that, those many things? Or do I want to go kayaking across the ocean and glacier hiding and, doing crazy, more ambitious life? Every person's going to be different. Every person's going to be different.
How has your list changed from when did you start? How many years has it been now, this lifestyle?
I would say like, I've been formulating these ideas of like, what experiences I want to have, et cetera. But like I early, I made a dynamic decision And a dynamic decision is a decision that affects subsequent decisions, right? Like you having a glass of water today or not doesn't affect something you're going to do a year from now. You getting married does. And the biggest dynamic decision I've made is having kids. So even though I didn't know it at the time, I was making about 2,000 decisions going 13, 16, 21 years into the future of where I'm going to be, what I'm going to do, things I will or will not do, and what my priorities are, right? And so a lot of how my wants have changed have been, and like my experiences I want to have changed drastically from those two dynamic decisions, specifically kids, right? And so that evolution has happened. And then so what I want at what period, once that happens, right, that highest priority decision, right, the welfare and raising of the kids and experiences with them, they grow and change, right? They're toddlers or whatever, then they're teenagers, and then they don't want to have anything to do with you for a while. You know what I mean? You have different experiences. And so that has been the base underline that shaped what I want to do and when I want to do it. More importantly, when I want to do it. And if the when doesn't match my health curve, then I never get to do it.
Yeah, that's a big one.
That's a big one. So it's different for a single person. Single person, or with less, I wouldn't say restricting, but less defined dynamic decisions, right? It's really going to be on your age and your feelings. As you change, your temperament changes. Things that were fun to you. It's just like when you were a kid, tic-tac-toe was fascinating. And then it's, then it's boring, right? It's like nothing. And then, when you're 17, 18, getting into the club and hanging out is like, oh, the rage, give me my freaking close, let's go, And it's like, I'm not going to dance for 4 hours straight raving, as much or ever again. I always say my glow stick days are done. Not because I can't do it. It's because it's just not as interesting to me anymore, right? Something changes in you. And that happens not just in clubs and tic-tac-toe and games, but in other areas of your life, right? I used to golf like mad. I was a golf addict. And it's not as I'm like, you know what? It takes too much time, blah, 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 whatever. I do enjoy golf and I do like it, but it's just too much time out of my day. And I'm, it's faded out of my life, Not that I won't go play it or whatever, but the frequency at which I did, it's gone. And so I think you just, as a human being, you have some foresight into how you're going to evolve, but not complete foresight. So that's why you constantly, this type of model, this mental model in your life is constantly being refreshed and updated, right? Because your ability to forecast your wants and needs, the error increases the further you go out in time.
Yeah, totally.
So as you get older and you get closer to it, you want to just refresh it and update it. And it also, you're picking up new ideas all the time. It's a dynamic model. It's not a static model, right? It's not like, plan this, write this out, do your time bucketing, and then go ahead and live life. No, it's dynamic. It's continuously updating. And the frequency is up to you.
Yeah, but I love the fact that what many people think, oh, this is my bucket list. I can do it, when I retire. I'm like, nope, you can't climb that mountain.
No, you can't do it.
And that, like, so many people, it's just like, they don't think about it. You think from this moment, okay, with this body, with this strength, with this energy, I could do it. But yeah.
Oh, even then, like I'm working on mapping it back to time, right? So there's the money aspect in it, but it's like, a lot of things I want to do. It's like, okay, this trip would take 2 weeks. This trip would take a month. I got this obligation, that obligation. It doesn't all fit in this year. Actually, it doesn't all fit in these 3 years, So you have to also think about like how the logistics are going to play out given the constraints of my life. Like your constraints are different than my constraints versus somebody else's constraints, right? And so you got this bucket list and I'm like, well, how's that going to go? You got to go to Aunt Betsy's funeral. You got your kid's graduation. You got whatever, you know what I mean? Like you got to think these things through, right? And you need to get rid of the clutter and say, wait a minute, the time is now. It's not then, it's now, right? Not only for your health, but just because I can't put all the timing in,